Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. And today, our guest is Leena Anis, and she is a content writer, an expert in content writing. And I have known her for quite some time now, and she's also a full time mom. Welcome to our podcast, Leena.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody.
Okay, so today's topic is harassment and rape, a global problem. So, Lena, can you tell me what is your opinion about this? Because this can be a very painful and disturbing experience for both men and women who suffer this incident. So,
Yeah.
what would you like to say to our listeners?
I would just like to say that the pain of the victims are it's very bad and it's heartbreaking, and no one can understand it. But I think we should understand the experience of the victims and how they feel about it. And also,
Yeah,
I
that
think they should act strong and come out of it. And also, they should be raise their voice for other people who are facing this issue and are unable to talk in front of the audience and tell the government and how badly they need help of people who can understand their pain. And I would just
yeah.
like to tell them that just be strong, and despite uh, how badly they are hurt, they should be strong and come out of this as soon as they can.
Okay, that's very good. But most of the times, I feel personally that people that go through this kind of incidents, the boys and girls tend to hide it that they are
Hmm.
victims of such. Why do you think people hide it? Why wouldn't they just notify their elders or someone near them about something that happens immediately?
I think it happens due to the stigma around harassment and rape. Most victims don't come out because of the afraid of their family members, because parents usually don't understand, and also friends might not understand their situation, and they think that the person is making it they're lying, and they are not afraid, and they feel rejected, because society at large puts the blame on the victim. Most of the times the victim starts self blame too. Sometimes it happens that the person who is the victim, he thinks that he or she thinks that I am the problem, and I am the one who is to be blamed for it. It must
Wow.
change, and I think over the time people are getting used to and believing that changes are coming in the way, and people are understanding them that victims should not be treated badly. And yes, I think the
Okay.
family and parents should support the children who are facing
Yeah.
these problems, and they should understand that how badly they need their support and love and trust in all
Yeah,
matters. Yeah.
that is very. What would you say the predators think when they commit such atrocities on their victims? Why do people do this, in your opinion?
I think they believe they can do it. They just feel they have the power to do it. They have seen
Mm.
it over the we have they have seen it happen over the years. Nothing has ever happened to the people who talk bad about women, who make sexist remarks, jokes, and women for boys and men throw
Mhm.
these comments like cookies. Also,
Yeah.
I think we don't say it very often, but it makes their mind more powerful, that they can do this, because nothing
Okay.
has ever happened with the rapist or harassment in our country especially.
Yeah, in Pakistan especially, there isn't
Yes.
any firm action or any.
Yes.
I don't hear
No
any.
laws, no laws have
Tend
ever
to hush.
passed related to the rape victims, for rape victims, or the culprits, or anything has never happened. That
Yeah,
is
that's
why
true.
it
But
gives well it gives the rapist more confidence.
yeah, actually, I agree with that. Rapists are
Yeah,
mostly people, predators, because they feel they have control over the other person's life.
exactly.
And I think they groom their victims, actually. I don't always think it's a sudden thing, especially in
Yeah.
the family. There's a family member that commits this atrocity on an innocent child or something like that. It's after grooming the child into keeping it a secret, oppressing him or her somehow, making him
Yes.
or her feel that they need to keep quiet about this. It's really sad, actually. It's really sad.
It's
So,
very
what would
sad.
you recommend to our global community? Because I'm trying to look at it as a community at large, the whole world, because there's no corner in the world that doesn't experience this kind of problem. So, what do you think parents, brothers, sisters, aunties, everybody else, the police also can do to keep the children safe or to help them if they're suffering silently?
I think the biggest step we can take is that change our own mindsets. We need to educate everyone around and keep the conversation going. We think if people are talking about and nothing is happening, then we should stop talking. But a lot of people think a talk doesn't change a thing, but conversations are seriously undermined. Talks, talk more about it. Talk to your kids, your friends, your families. Use your platform online. We need to educate on sex and consent. We need to educate people that consent is important for women and men. Only
Yeah, that
communities
is.
can work together if they uproot the problem. If we stop talking, then the problem is never going to be highlighted and we will never know how to overcome the problem. So it is very
Yeah.
important to first of all to talk about it, not to stop people from talking. uh, uh, that kuch hona nahi hai, that we need to talk about it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think our culture in Pakistan has some role to play in this because the way I look at it, parents usually avoid such topics with their children, about sex, about
Yes,
rape, like that. So how
especially
can,
when we
like,
live when we sit in families, we avoid such topics.
exactly?
यस कि जी लड़की की क्या होगी, लड़की के क्या इमेज बनेगा, उसको इतनी अकल है, उसको रेप के बारे में बात करनी आती है, फलाना ढिमकीना. तो that is why we need to talk about, we need to come up with solutions so that we can help our kids grow better.
Yeah, and I think parents have an important role to play in this. They should not feel
Yes,
ashamed
please.
of discussing things with their children. In fact, look at it as an education.
Yes,
Because unless you alert the children or tell them about some red flags and how to identify a predator, you can't protect your children entirely without discussing these things. So shying away from it is not a solution, especially in our
yes,
community. So
exactly.
what do you think are the identifiers or red flags in identifying a predator, and how can someone in time alert the authorities or someone close to them that this person is trying to rape me or something like that? I fear this person's intentions. What do you think are the identifiers?
I think when someone stares at you or someone you know without your consent, that if they that is the start of the violent act. I think. I don't think our authorities will understand the difference between harassment and attempt to harass. Both should be considered punishable. Other acts may include touching and stalking online, but the most important thing here to deal with is that the person who stares badly at you or who give bad comments or remarks, he or she is going to be is the one who is going to start a bad communication or bad act or
Yeah.
something like that.
I think basically, when people try to cross your personal space, your personal boundary, that's a
Yes,
major for someone, especially for women and even for boys. In our community, although people don't like talking about it, but my heart goes out to the boys out there that are also suffering and victims of rape, because I know it's a very, very dark side of our community, but it exists.
hmm.
Okay, so what do you think are the lifelong consequences that these victims face?
I think it's not lost on anyone that such victims deal with emotional and psychological trauma for a long
Mm-hmm.
time. If the stigma around sexual abuse affects further into their lives, many people. Secondly, we forget that a man or a woman or children, any one with or without gender, face horrible essential crisis, doubting their actions and their self-esteem, hold their life. They should also put up, they need some power and they need some influence, they need some support, they need some emotional psychological support so they can come out of the trauma. We need to educate, we need to be more supportive when it comes to our child, and they can't progress if life with people like this is going on. So we need
Mm-hmm.
to make them powerful and influence them with good things, with good communities, with good society, with good people. That is how
Yeah.
I think victims can
Yeah.
last too. Yeah.
I agree with that. Basically, we should not let such people feel like they're suffering of a stigma or they're unwanted or they're, unwelcome in our
Yes.
community. We should try to give them a normal life as much as possible. But
Yes.
it's sad that the community tends to look down on such things, and then you find such people usually ending up unmarried and without someone to support them for life.
Yeah.
It's kind of. It's kind of sad.
Yeah,
Lena, do you
very
think there's
sad.
a way in our society or in Pakistan to eradicate this problem, or are there any organizations to help them?
I don't think there are any organizations, but there are many organizations which are working for people. But Pakistan has these laws, but it's the society that does not help to follow and implement the laws at times. Filing a complaint is the first act of justice. A family member or a friend can do it for the victim. The victim themselves should be encouraged to do them. But in our society, they are not encouraged, and often families, mothers, and parents say that no, we cannot do that. The culprit might come again and harass you and do the same, and they get afraid. But I think there should be laws, and the laws should be enacted. There should be an action taken against the culprits in our country.
Yes, yes,
But
I
basically, I
agree.
think there are organizations working, but I don't think so it can ever end because of our closed ones, because of our parents, because sometimes parents and friends uh, tell the victim that no, 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 you should shut up, and you should not tell the story, it's your
Yeah,
life, things like that.
yeah, they tend to hide behind, the
Yes,
truth. They try to hide it, but indirectly, they're encouraging such predators to continue doing what they are doing. So I
yes,
agree that our parents and our loved ones, our close ones, should actually take a stand and try to, create awareness about these kind of atrocities that are happening and protect our loved ones, our kids from
yes.
suffering
Also,
this.
they should boost the victims to come out and talk and tell people how bad you feel, and how many girls are there feeling bad, and they are facing problems, things like these. I think there should be things like these
Yeah,
happen.
yes, exactly. I hope that in the near future we see some kind of organization or body offering
Working for
help and
the yes,
psychological
yes.
support to such people. And
And
at the
it's
same
not
time,
even
they,
and it's not and it's not only for women nowadays, it's for men also.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
it's for
for
men as well.
boys, for young children, for kids
Yes,
getting
yes, yes. It's a,
harassed from their Maulvis and their maids and their drivers. Boys are,
yeah.
I think, under more problems than girls nowadays.
Yes, actually, and it is because we are ignoring them. We don't sympathize with boys as much as
Yes,
we should. I think that's
yes,
a very big problem in our society, and we should try to change this in the coming generations.
yeah.
So, Lena, before we end this episode, is there anything you would like our listeners to know or say to them
Yes,
as
please.
a
I
person?
would. I would request everyone to please read about feminism. Please go through Aurat March, Mera Jism Meri Marzi, to actually put all this violence in, to give this violence a perspective. If you are open to new knowledge and information, these movement will help you gain perspectives. We need to educate our children, our girls, our boys, and treat people with kindness. I would also say that please believe victims. Please believe victims. They are humans. They are from among us. They have been facing hard times. So please go on, read about feminism and Aurat March, and know more about how bad rape or harassment victims feel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lena. It has been wonderful having you on the show, and
Thank
I
you.
think we will have another one in a few more weeks coming in the coming weeks. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for your time, and
Thank you.
dear
No
listeners,
problem.
please subscribe to our channel and feel free to leave your comments and questions. Write to us if you have any special requests, any topics you would like us to discuss.
All
Have a
right.
nice day. Bye
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
bye.
Bye bye.